Okay, so we've established the clear fact that a mighty fortress is our God has lasted for almost 500 years now. Or has it? I would say that a mighty fortress is our God has a dark secret that most people don't know. The truth is, the original version of a mighty fortress is our God is long gone. It is not a 500-year-old hymn. Well, in the first place, it was written in German, not only in German, but in Old German, and not modern German. So the spelling, the pronunciation, all of that would be different. It would be as different as Shakespearean English, Elizabethan English, versus modern English, or American English. You know, I mean, just very different languages, you might say, almost. Okay, so in the first place, that has been changed. In the second place, it's been translated into English. And not just once. It's been translated more than 80 times. There are more than 80 English translations of A Mighty Fortress is Our God. What we know is the one that Frederick Hedge wrote in 1853. But in 1831, Thomas Carlyle wrote, "A safe stronghold our God is still." Or how about "A fortress sure is God our King" by Godfrey Thring in 1882. There have been multiple English translations, and it could have been done any number of different ways. So we have this 1850s version that has more or less stuck and remained unchanged. Beyond that, do you notice a lot of the battle metaphors that are in A Mighty Fortress is Our God? You know, He is our strong berg, our city of fortress, our city of refuge, and we can overcome the evil one, and so forth and so on. Well, that really fit the political circumstance of the time there in Germany, where the northern Germans, who were often interested in Reformation in far more ways than only theology from the Roman Catholic Church, were going against the southern Germans. Before long, the 30 Years' War would break out, and they would be fighting back and forth across the country. Really, there was a civil war that was taking place. And so, not too much different than the American song, Battle Hymn of the Republic. You know, "My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord," and we say, "Glory, glory, hallelujah, His truth is marching on." We're singing about Jesus, but we're not really singing about Jesus. We're singing about other things. We're singing about political matter. The comparison to Our God as One, it didn't capture the entire political fervor of an entire country, which is significant. Well, let's look at the music. That melody, that's the next thing we typically look at. Here's another little secret. The original melody that Luther wrote was in the key of F. Starts up here. A mighty fortress is our God. That's up there. By the time we get to the early 1900s, you see the example that it's on your page, which has it down in the key of D, a minor third lower. A mighty fortress. By the time 1986 rolls around, and later, we are singing it in the key of C. A mighty fortress is our God, which is the key that I've been singing it in and playing it in, because it's just it's a better key for modern voices. So we had to shift, you see, over the course of years. People used to sing higher. It's true. They used to sing higher than what they do now. And so we keep bringing it down in order to match where the common person sings. Had that not happened, nobody would be interested in the song, A Mighty Fortress is Our God. I guarantee it. Let's also talk about the rhythm of that melody. Here's the rhythm. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing, a helper Now that might sound like it's a syncopated rhythm to you, but as you see in the music, there are no bar lines. They didn't view it as syncopated, they just viewed it as long and short, because in those days they were just one step away from chant, in which you have long syllables, short syllables, and so it wasn't really viewed as syncopated. So, A Mighty Fortress Is Our God needed to become more regular, more straightforward if it was going to make it in the next generation. And so we have A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Very predictable, very straightforward, a lot of quarter notes, and not that sort of syncopated, hard to predict rhythm. That was important for that time in history, and for 200 or more years, that straight rhythm helped to propel A Mighty Fortress Is Our God into popularity. Likewise, we could look at harmony. I mean, originally, take a look there, originally the melody was in the tenor part. And the alto and soprano and bass part, they were all the harmonies around it. It was only in later generations, like the generation after Luther, that they discovered cantional style singing, in which we put the melody in the soprano, and suddenly everybody can hear it more, and we get all of the different parts to sing the same rhythm, and that all worked. But I'm not done yet with this hymn. You know what? Perhaps you are one of those people who says, you keep talking about how popular A Mighty Fortress Is Our God, and I don't get it. I mean, I don't sing it. We don't sing it at my church, unless we sing the Tommy Walker version. Let's talk about that. I think Tommy Walker has helped to rescue it in a couple of different ways. In the first place, he put it to a C2 No 3, and study from music theory for worship. Very popular chord. It's a quartal, no third. And then he put it into 4/4 time with a different rhythm, so that it becomes predictable, but it's different. 1, 2, 3. You get this real driving guitar. A mighty fortress is our God. 2, 3, 4, 1. A bulwark never failing. All right. So a lot of syncopation. I'm not playing the syncopation, but a lot of syncopation and fast driving guitar, and the only chord change was a 4, 5, 1. That happens right there near the end. So very simple chords now. We take away all that chord change. We spent a lot of time on that C2 No 3. The ear needed the dominant sound, so he built in this refrain. A mighty fortress, a mighty fortress is our God. And then just repeat that. It's not advancing any text at all in the chorus. It's just giving us some reflection time and a different sound. I would assert to you that had somebody not done something like that, A Mighty Fortress would be destined in this next generation to just die, because it's necessary to play it on keyboard and have the chord change happen so quickly and all that kind of thing. You can't really play it with guitar and drums. Somebody needed to find a guitar and drum version of A Mighty Fortress Is Our God, and then needed to add a refrain. Modern choruses are a part of the development of hymns, and are helping to keep them alive, not by keeping them the same, but by their always changing. And so now you know the dark secret of A Mighty Fortress Is Our God. Why it's lasted for 500 years is because it was written in a politically hot time, because its range has changed, its tune has changed, its rhythm has changed, its harmony has changed, and then its entire structure has been redone within this generation.
A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing.